Welcome back, everybody, to the New York Knicks, MyNBA franchise here on NBA 2K23. Today we'll be getting through the rest of the regular season here in year number 5. We're currently 45-19 and in first place of the Eastern Conference, but barely. We're only half a game ahead of the Washington Wizards, who have really decreased our lead on this number 1 seed by quite a lot over this last month or so, and they have completely caught up to us. The rest of the East is super close behind us in Washington, with a bunch of teams fighting for playoff spots. Really, other than us and the Wizards being the top 2 seeds in some order, nothing else is certain in the East. We do have a good gauge of which 10 teams will get in, but the order is very much up for grabs. As for the West, the Rockets and Sonics are battling for the number 1 seed. Our friends in Minnesota are making some noise to potentially climb up to 3. They're tied with the Thunder for 4th and only half a game behind the Jazz for 3rd. Minnesota's done a great job of catching up to them. And of course, the West is nowhere near as deep as the East. In the East, there's, I think, 10 teams over 500. In the West, there's maybe 6. And one of those teams is the Blazers, who aren't even all that good. So as we get to the end of the season here for the Knicks, the goal is pretty simple. Get the number 1 seed. Pretty straightforward here. We're certainly hoping for no injuries or really nothing that could derail our playoff chances, as we're going to simulate through this next week and a half, and we've got some good teams on the schedule. Rockets, Sixers, Red Tails, Bulls twice, and then we play the Bulls again. So during the simulation, Jarrett Allen tore his Achilles. He will be done for the year. He will not come back for the playoffs. This is not good for multiple reasons. Obviously, Jarrett Allen's a very important player for us. So Zachariah Royster's going to have to slide up to center, which I'm confident in him. I think he can handle it. That's really the least of our concerns here. The real problem is we have literally no front court depth. So David Oyedeji, who's an undrafted free agent, and Steven Adams, who's beyond cooked, will be getting minutes here to end the season at backup center because we have no other front court depth. Maybe Kyle Anderson can play too, but he only has C+ inside defense. And the unfortunate thing for Jarrett Allen, not only is he going to miss the rest of the year, but Achilles injuries usually take 10 to 12 months to heal, if healed properly. So if all goes well, he's probably going to miss the first half of next season as well, which really sucks. We ended up struggling without him. We lost our first 2 games against the Rockets and Sixers. We're now a game and a half behind Washington all of a sudden, and I'm curious to see how we can do in these next 4 games without Jarrett Allen. DJ Ramses got hurt in that stretch, but we would surprisingly go 3-1, including a 19-point win here against the Bulls, where we scored 142 points. 37, 11, and 9 for Tatum on good efficiency. Rock Khalif Dumbu, who's starting for the injured DJ Ramses, had 30. DeCarlo had like 27 and 13. And we're now tied for the Wizards for the number 1 spot. So we haven't been completely terrible without Jarrett Allen so far. But we certainly need to be playing a little bit better if we want to get that number 1 spot. As we look at the Bulls here, they are in a chase for a playoff spot. Chicago's been really bad the last few years, and at the beginning of the season, they were really good out of nowhere. Them and the Wizards were like 2 and 3 for a while. While the Wizards have continued to play well, the Bulls have not played as well, but they're still a playoff team, so we can't take them lightly. DJ Ramses is back in the rotation. David Oyedeji is going to have to come out. He's shooting 12% as a center. That's not good. So now Steven Adams is going to be in the rotation. Steven Adams, again, not the Steven Adams that we know in real life. He's just not as good anymore. He's not an NBA caliber player, really. So it's not ideal that he will be getting minutes for this team, not just now, but possibly in the postseason. So as we look at this game against the Bulls, we've played them twice within the last week, splitting those games. The Bulls have a really good young core with guys like Max Maddock, Jalen Witherspoon, Jalen Duren, and plenty of other good young players as well. They traded for Trae Young at the deadline. They're going all in on this core, as they should. This young core has really turned out nicely. There's Max Maddock, the native of New Zealand, with the early bucket, 5-1 Bulls lead. Trae Young is blocked by Cesar DiCarlo. Trae Young has some history in this building with the Knicks back in his time with Atlanta. Here's Jason Tatum letting it fly from beyond the arc. Tatum's had to play a lot more down low defensively. He is one of the bigger players on this team with, the lack of front court depth. Trae Young, nice move, passes it out for Jalen Witherspoon, a former top 5 pick out of Houston in his second season. He's really developed into a good player. He's the leading scorer for this Bulls team as he hits another 3. Anthony Edwards giving him way too much room. The Bulls up big early. It's 11-4. Trae Young lobs it up, and it goes in. That's one way to do it. The Knicks got to call a timeout not even 3 minutes into the game, as they've looked really bad on both ends of the floor so far. Obviously, it's early, but not a good start to this game for New York. Here's Jason Tatum off the catch. In the corner! Sinks for three, despite good shot contest from the veteran Aaron Gordon. 15-9 now. Trae Young, nice move. Passes it inside for the big fella, Jalen Duren, who makes the layup. Duren signed here as a restricted free agent this offseason. A very questionable move by the Pistons to ultimately let him go. Trae Young inside for the acrobatic and one. Anthony Edwards called for the foul, and the Bulls are continuing to build up on this lead as it's 20-11. Rams is inside, makes the layup, draws the foul. It's an and one for DJ Ramses. He's fouled on the play by Malachi Branham, another young guy who the Spurs signed out of restricted free agency, who's really resurrected his career here in Chicago. Fadeaway three for Ayo Dosunmu is good. The Bulls now up 23-14. Dosunmu again makes the bucket. Ayo has been here for quite a while, and if you remember, the Knicks actually tried to sign him back in the Season 1 free agency, but the Bulls ultimately matched the offer. 25-14. Here's Tatum with it. He's trapped. Has Cam Reddish open for three. Killer Cam Reddish is on the board, and it's 25-17. Witherspoon, nice pass to Strong over to Ayo Dosunmu, no good. But Aleksej Pokusevski, another young guy who's really resurrected his career here with the Bulls, gets the putback. 27-17. Here's DJ Ramses with a beautiful pass in the corner for Cam Reddish, who hits the lawn too. What a pass by Ramses, as it's 31-23. The Knicks are starting to play a little bit better, particularly on offense, but still not a very good game so far from New York, as Jalen Witherspoon hits another long-range shot. 34-23. Buddy Johnson with it for the Knicks, trying to post up on Witherspoon. He gets it to Rock Khalif Dumbu, who beats the shot clock, and it's now 36-25. Around 20-ish seconds left in the first quarter. What time is it? It's Dame time. Damian Lillard, the trade deadline acquisition, on the board with a three. Lillard continues to do a pretty good job here as the new sixth man. Lillard looking to get one more shot off here before the end of the first quarter, but it is no good. 38-28. Very high-scoring game so far. The Knicks defense has been a total train wreck to start. The Bulls are scoring at will, inside and out. They are not missing. Good cut off ball by Trae Young for the layup, trying to show some off-ball ability. He's known as a very ball-dominant player, so it's good to see him with a smart play like that. Off the steal, what a block by Rock Khalif Dumbu, snuffing Malachi Branham. 42-28. Here's Anthony Edwards inside, and one for Ant-Man, his first points of the night. 42-31. Anthony Edwards looking to go inside. He sends it over to DJ Ramses on the wing. He hits the three, and New York brings it within 8. 42-34. Matic nearly has his pocket picked, but he gets it back, and he will send it over to Trae Young. Young blows by DiCarlo. Nice pass over to Aleksej Pokusevski, who hits the three. Trae Young's had some really nice passes here. He's a very, very good passer and playmaker, getting all of his teammates involved. Unfortunately for Trae Young, though, he's short, and because of that, he can't really defend. That's basically a wide-open three for DiCarlo, despite good defensive effort from Trae Young. But Young's going to get right back at him on the following possession as he blows by him for a layup. 47-37 now. Young over to Ramses. Ramses, basically wide open, hits the three. You got to feel bad for Trae Young. It's not that he isn't trying. There's not much he can do, barely being 6 foot tall. Shot no good. Duren with the rebound over to Aleksej Pokusevski, and the Bulls answer right back with a three of their own. Can't let second chance opportunities fall like that. 50-40. Here's Edwards inside for Royster. He's got the mismatch. If Trae Young can't defend these guards from three, Lord knows he's not going to defend 6'10" Zachariah Royster in the paint. 52-42. Ramses over to Jason Tatum, and his shot will fall. A lucky bounce for Tatum, and it's 52-44 with a little under 6 minutes left in the first half. Malachi Branham inside with the slam! A powerful dunk by Malachi Branham in his 5th year out of the Ohio State University. What a block by Jalen Duren, catching it in midair. Duren sends it over to Trae Young, and he is snuffed at the rim by Royster Moister. On the other end, DJ Ramses looks to drive by the defender. Contested layup, no good. Ball is tipped. He gets it back, and the second chance look is good. Nice putback by DJ Ramses, getting his own miss. 54-46. Ramses over to Tatum with the slam dunk. and the Knicks are within 6, 54-48. Trae Young inside here, passes it out to Pokusevski, beats the buzzer. Alexei Pokusevski for 3. 9-point game now. The inbound pass is stolen by Trae Young. The Knicks were looking to get aggressive, send it down court. Doesn't pay off as Young lobs it up for the veteran Aaron Gordon. 61-50 now. DiCarlo gets it over to Royster. He gets it to Anthony Edwards. Edwards, step back. 3-ball is good. Nice move by Edwards. The Knicks shooting lights out from 3 now, as are the Bulls. Both teams look like they have 5 Steph Currys on the floor the way they're shooting. Nice play there by Chicago. That's Ayo Dosunmu with the mid-ranger, 63-53 now. The Knicks' offense has been great in the first half, but they just can't really get back in this game because the Bulls' offense has been even better. Nice move by Jalen Witherspoon in for the layup, 65-53. Dumbu inside, layup and a foul, and one for Ra Khalif Dumbu. 65-55. Dosunmu with a dime in the corner for a wide-open Malachi Branham. The Bulls are going to have well over 70, maybe even 80 at halftime. That's unbelievable. Here's Jason Tatum in the corner for a wide-open Dumbu. He misses. Tatum's there with the offensive rebound, no good. Steven Adams, though, 3rd time's the charm in his New York Knicks debut. Gets his first bucket as a Knick. 70-59. Dosunmu inside for Aleem Strong. The Bulls are just making everything. 3-pointer, layup, dunk, midi, and one. They're getting everything to fall. Branham lobs it up for Strong. The Bulls with 75 points here in the first half. They're on pace for over 150 tonight. Tatum misses the 3 as the following rebound and pass is stolen. The Knicks will get it right back in the hands of Lillard. To the corner for Reddish. Reddish looks to drive inside. Fools the defender on the pump fake. Great move by Cam Reddish. And it's now 77-63 with 7/10 of a second left on the clock. As Strong has it on the baseline, he's going to inbound it over to Dosunmu, who heaves it up from half court. No good. If you like offense, this has been the first half for you. The Bulls lead at 77-63. Chicago 8 of 12 from deep. The Knicks started the game 8 of 10 from 3. They have missed their last 4, but still some remarkable shooting from both teams. Into the second half now. Will the Bulls cool off? You got to assume they will. They scored nearly 80 in the first half. 79-63 off the Trae Young bucket. Young back with it. Gets some room from deep. Trae Young is driven in so many times. DiCarlo did not expect him to pop the 3, but he does. Jalen Witherspoon off the catch. Lets it fly. And the Bulls have not cooled off. Within just a couple of minutes, they've extended their lead even more. Zachariah Royster with a grown man slam. And one for Royster. What a play. But the Knicks are still down by 17. They've got to pick it up here at some point. Trae Young lobs it up for Jalen Duren, who gets the slam. 89-70 now. Young back with it. Guarded by Tatum. Should be a mismatch, but Trae Young knows how to find open teammates as he lobs it up for Aaron Gordon, who's kind of the old man of this team. Jalen Witherspoon, nice move. Guarded by Edwards, taking advantage of the size mismatch. Witherspoon's got a couple of inches on him. Pause. And it's now 93-72. The Bulls lead by 21 points. Still 5 minutes left in the third as Trae Young makes the floater over the extended arm of Zachariah Royster. Trae Young's been unbelievable tonight. Jalen Witherspoon's been great. Branham, Duren, all these guys have been so good for the Bulls. Chicago's in takeover mode. They've got another great chance to extend their lead, but Damian Lillard hits a 3. 97-75. Tatum with it. Gets it over to Anthony Edwards from deep. Hits it. And the Knicks are starting to heat up from 3 again. It barely matters. They're down by more than 20, though. Aleem Strong for 3. The big fella, no good. Branham with the offensive rebound and the putback. The Knicks decided to let Strong shoot. They didn't think he'd make it, but if you're going to let him shoot, you got to have guys down low ready for the rebound. 21-point game. Pass is stolen by Lillard. In transition, he gets it over to Anthony Edwards, who almost ended the career of Jalen Witherspoon by annihilating him, but instead he'll take the layup. 101-82 now. Trae Young with it. Has a wide open man. It's Jalen Witherspoon for 3. Witherspoon seemingly has not missed throughout the entire game. He's been so efficient for the Bulls as it's a 22-point game. Witherspoon steals the pass here with about 2.5 to go in the third. Inside for Alexei Pokusevski, who decks the dunk. The Knicks barely allow not even 110 points per game. The Bulls are going to have that by the end of the quarter, which is crazy. Here's Royster over to Lillard. He gets it to Ramses. Heavily contested three is good. The Knicks, as you can see, are in takeover mode. This is their opportunity to get back in the game. It's really now or never. If the deficit is 20 going into the fourth, they're not going to win this game. Lillard, fade away, three ball. Nice shot for Damian Lillard. Dumbu in the corner, pump fake. Looks to make a play as he gets it over to Royster, who hands it off for Cam Reddish. He hits another three. The Knicks are getting hot again, which is good, but you got to play defense. Branham with the screen. Goes inside for Aleem Strong, who has a wide open man in the corner. And take a guess. Jalen Witherspoon. This guy does not miss. 20-point game. Here's Royster at the buzzer. No good. The Bulls lead big. 111-91 going into the fourth. Chicago's offense has been so good. The way this game has gone, the Bulls have been hot literally the entire game. There's no slowing down this offense. There's no way that the Knicks can feasibly come back and win. So we're going to skip through the fourth. New York didn't really make it a game in the fourth as the Bulls win 146-133. Whole lot of points. Imagine scoring over 130 points and you still lose by double digits. A completely embarrassing effort defensively. And it wasn't really for a lack of effort. It's just that the Knicks played horrible defense. There's no way around it. Damian Lillard with 31 off the bench, 7 of 9 shooting from 3. A lot of guys were efficient from 3. Ramses, 21, 8, and 6, 4 for 5 from deep. Edwards, 19, 4 for 6 from deep. As a team, we shot 50% from 3 and good from the field. The problem is the Bulls offense had literally the most efficient game I've ever seen. 31 and 17 for Trey, 31 for Witherspoon, 11 of 13 from the field, 6 of 6 from 3. Io, Poku, Duran, Branham, and Matic also in the double figures. The Bulls shot 61 of 93 from the field. That's ridiculous. They made 2/3 of their shots, basically. 16 of 28 from 3. Not going to have a better three-point shooting night than that. 57%. I mean, I don't know what to say. The Bulls literally had the game of their lives. We're now half a game behind the Wizards for the number 1 seed in the conference. And we're going to do some more simulating here as we get through the rest of this week against the Hawks, Hornets, and Pistons. Only 3 more weeks of the regular season left to go, and the injury bug would continue to hit us. Zachariah Royster fractures his hand. He's out 2 to 4 weeks. So now we don't have a starting center. Royster's out. Allen's out. So we're going to experiment. Jason Tatum will play center. What do we have to lose at this point? David Oyedeji and Steven Adams are not NBA caliber starters. Cesar DiCarlo then gets injured, so Lillard's going to move over to the point. We have 4 rotation players who are injured, 2 of whom are out for the rest of the year. I mean, this is ridiculous how hard we've gotten hit by the injury bug. Despite that, we went 3-0 in our next 3 games. Interestingly, in all 3 games, we allowed less than 100 points. We out-rebounded all 3 of those teams, and all 3 of their starting centers were very inefficient. Hagiwara for the Hawks, 4 of 12. Helton for the Hornets, 2 of 8. Mark Williams for Detroit, 4 of 9. I get those aren't the greatest of players. Mark Williams is fine. The other 2 guys, not so much. But clearly, our Cam Reddish and Jason Tatum front court has actually been pretty good defensively and grabbing boards. We're now half a game ahead of the Wizards for the number 1 seed. With 2 weeks left to go, we're going to simulate through this next week against the Nets, Blazers, Rockets, and Nuggets. Not an easy stretch of games. Zachariah Royster is healthy, but I want to keep this experiment going of Jason Tatum at center because it's working. DJ Ramses would get hurt, but we do go 3-1, and our only loss is against a great Rockets team by 4. So the Jason Tatum center experiment is continuing to work like a charm. We're now a full game ahead of Washington for the number 1 seed, and it seems like that matchup to end the regular season literally could decide who gets the number 1 seed. Before we get through the final week of the regular season, let's see how Minnesota's season wraps up as they face off against the New Orleans Pelicans here, trailing by 2. Let's see if they can make the comeback. Apollo Thanopoulos with the putback. We're tied at 100. 5:24 left to go in the fourth quarter. Tobias Harris off the screen inside for DeAndre Ayton, who gets the layup. New Orleans right back ahead as they are up by 2. Bradley Beal with it. Beal and Ayton teammates here, just like in real life for the time being, as he gets it over to Bobby Portis, who makes the hook shot. New Orleans up by 4. The Pelicans looking to extend their lead now as R.J. Barrett is in for the and 1. Powerful slam. The longtime Knick with the dunk. He's fouled by Jaden McDaniels. Barrett's pass is tipped and stolen away by Lou Dort. Over to Diablo, who gets it to Apollo Thanopoulos, the Rookie of the Year favorite and potential MVP candidate with a big dunk. 6-point game, 2.5 minutes to go. Diablo over to McDaniels, inside for the slam. The Timberwolves aren't going to quit. They trail by 4. They've still got time. New Orleans with it on the inbound. Barrett's pass is going to go to a wide-open DeAndre Ayton. Thanopoulos decided to play for the ball. He's like Trayvon Diggs. He decided to take a gamble, hoped he could force the turnover, and it backfires. Here's McDaniels in the corner for Markelle Fultz for 3. Big shot for Fultz. 5-point game now, 1:47 to go. Coco Diablo. His shot is no good. Thanopoulos with the offensive rebound. He gets the putback. He now has 15 and 10, and it's a one-score game once again. Coco Diablo with it. He drives inside. Diablo with the slam. We are now within 1. The Wolves are making this one interesting. Dalen Battle, the top 3 draft pick, inside with the slam. Big dunk for Battle, the rookie out of Kentucky, back to a 3-point game. Markelle Fultz with it. Fultz over to Diablo for the tie. Bang! Coco Diablo ties it at 114. Following possession for Minnesota. Diablo over to Dort. He gets it to Thanopoulos. Apollo Thanopoulos with the slam. And Minnesota takes the lead. They were down by 7 or 8 like 2 minutes ago. Now they have the lead. Zion Williamson misses for the tie. Great defense by Jaden McDaniels. Couple of 3 throws later, it's a 4-point game. Barrett tightly guarded by Dort. He gets it over to Beal, who heaves up a prayer, and it is good. What a shot by Bradley Beal. It's a 1-point game with under 6 seconds to go as Coco Diablo will be fouled. He will go to the line to shoot 2. The Pelicans are out of timeout, so whether Diablo makes or misses the second one, they're going to have to react quick. First one is good. Second one is good. You can make the argument that he should miss it, so the Pelicans have to rebound it. They get less time, but I've always thought that was kind of a bad idea. Just make it a 3-point game. Hope the Pelicans don't make a ridiculous shot, and see, they don't. All you got to do is just make sure you don't foul. The Timberwolves win it, 120-117 here. The Pelicans are fighting for one of those play-in spots, a drastic fall from grace from winning the finals last year. But still, a good win here nonetheless for Minnesota against a New Orleans team who needs all the wins they can get. Coco Diablo with 24, 6, and 10 leading the way. Let's see how the Timberwolves can do against the potential number 1 seeded Houston Rockets, who might be the overall favorites to win the title. They won it 2 years ago, as Coco Diablo has it in the corner for 3. The Timberwolves need a little bit of a rally. They trail by 4 here after the shot with under 3 minutes to go. Diablo with it. He snuffed at the rim. Jalen Smith with the block. McDaniels gets it back, though, and he hits the turnaround jumper over Jabari Smith, who wears number 40 here, and I don't really know why. 114-110. Lonzo lobs it up for Jalen Smith. 6-point game. Here's Jalen Green, the former Finals MVP. He's blocked. The Knicks with it on the fast break. Lou against Dort looks to drive inside, and he steps out of bounds. That's a killer at this stage in the game. I don't know if Minnesota's got a real shot to win after that. Following possession, Dort to Diablo in the corner for Markelle Fultz. 3-ball is no good, and that'll be pretty much all she wrote. The Houston Rockets will beat Minnesota 120-110. Good win here for the Rockets on the road for their quest for the number 1 seed in the conference. Them and the Sonics still in a very tight battle for that spot. You can't fault Minnesota. They played against arguably the best team in the league. But even so, it would have been nice to get this win. 20 and 10 for Thanopoulos. A bunch of other guys in the double figures, but nobody else really stood out. The perimeter shooting, it seems like, was inconsistent across the board. 2 for 7 for Dort, 2 for 7 for Diablo. It would have been nice to have A.J. Griffin, but as you'll notice, he did not play in this game, and there is a very clear reason for that. Griffin missed some time earlier in the season with an injury, and he is once again hurt right before the playoffs. The timing is not good. We're hoping that he will be back in time for the playoffs, but for now, he will be out with a broken right wrist. Only a day-to-day injury, though, at this point. He has gotten through most of the injury already. We'll take a look at Minnesota's final standing after we wrap up the regular season for the Knicks. They would go 1-1 in their next 2 games, losing to the Pacers and beating Milwaukee. We're still 1 ahead of the Wizards, so we are in the driver's seat for the number 1 seed with 2 games left to go. We play against the Suns, who stink. We should win that game. And then the Wizards play against Detroit before our big matchup here. We're going to simcast both of these games. If we win against Phoenix and the Wizards lose against Detroit, we will clinch the number 1 seed before our matchup. We're going to do our part as we beat the Suns by 30. Big game for everybody across the board. DJ Ramses, as you can see, is still banged up, but we're having him play through injury because it's kind of an important game. We're going for the number 1 seed. And now the Wizards will play against Detroit, a team who is fighting for a playoff spot. They have a lot to play for. They had the lead here in the 4th, but the Wizards would make a huge comeback. They're up by 1 with 2 minutes to go. We're going to hop in and watch. We're not going to control anybody. We're just going to watch and see how this game plays out. So the Wizards lead by 3 after a couple of 3 throws as Devin Booker is blocked inside. And now Washington can make it a 2-score game. Malik Porter with the screen. Pull-up jumper is good. Porter, another high draft pick out of the University of Houston. He was college teammates with Jalen Witherspoon of the Bulls. Pass is tipped. Mark Williams ends up with it. He'll make the short shot inside. 1-score game. 113-116. The Wizards still have the lead here at home. The final game of the regular season also at home as Durant has the double team. Somebody's going to be wide open. It's the rookie, Diallo for 3. Washington is up by 6 with 37.7 seconds left on the clock. In the hands of Booker. Tough shot is good. Devin Booker and Kevin Durant, former Phoenix Suns teammates, both traded away this year at the deadline to, ironically, their hometown teams. Durant gets the better of Booker there. Rather than fouling, the Pistons hoped for a stop, and they would not get it. 5-point game. Booker inside for Mark Williams, who gets a big dunk. Back to a 3-point game. Diallo on the baseline. Who's he going to send it to? The ball goes in the hands of the veteran Kevin Durant, the DMV native, at the line. First one is good for KD. He's pretty much the oldest player in the league at this point. He's been in the NBA for nearly 20 years, but he's still really good, and this Wizards team has been significantly better since the trade. Pull-up jumper for Devin Booker will fall. Booker keeping the Pistons pretty much single-handedly in the game. Detroit does not have Jaden Ivey on the floor right now. He's a little bit banged up. Obviously, him not being there does certainly hurt a little bit. As Malik Porter makes the first one for Washington. The Wizards are up by 4. Detroit out of timeouts as he goes 2 for 2. Clutch 3-throw shooting down the stretch here for the Wizards, and they will win this game 128-122, which means the Wizards are still technically alive for the number 1 seed in the Eastern Conference. And Game 82 between us and Washington will decide it. Good win here for the Wizards. 26 off the bench for Jamison Xander. He's basically their 6th man. Juno, Porter, and Durant also with at least 20. Claxton, Diallo, and Jang with at least 10. So that'll bring us to the final regular season game of the year. We're a game ahead of the Wizards. If they win, they can possibly pass us for the number 1 seed in the conference. And the rest of the East is super close as well. Only 2 other teams have clinched playoff spots, and we're at the final day of the regular season. The Magic have not clinched that 10th spot yet because Boston's been winning some games, so the 10 seed is still up for grabs. In the West, it's even closer. No number 1 seed yet. The Rockets and Sonics still tied. Minnesota's now in 4th place. They'll play against OKC in the first round. It's just a matter of seeding. Who gets 4, who gets 5. The final playoff spot hasn't been clinched yet. We do know everybody who will at least be in the play-in tournament, but we don't know who the 6th seed will be yet. We don't know the order of the play-in teams. So let's hop into this game as we have DJ Rams is fully healthy, DeCarlo's fully healthy, Royster is fully healthy as well. So we're as healthy as we can be now, obviously considering Jared Allen and Ochai Agbaji are both out for the rest of the season. But everybody else is healthy, which is certainly better than nothing. The final game of the regular season with potentially the number 1 seed on the line here in Washington between the Wizards and the Knicks. Not only does this game determine the number 1 seed, but it very well could be a playoff preview. There's a really good shot we see both of these teams in the conference finals, being that these 2 teams are far and away the 2 best teams right now in the Eastern Conference. Cesar DeCarlo gets the scoring started with an early dunk. Knicks lead 4-0. Got to set the tone unlike the Chicago game. Deep 3 for DJ Ramses. It's an air ball, and the Wizards will run the floor in transition. Nice layup for Malik Porter, and it's 4-2. The Wizards have constantly hit on their draft picks in this series. Xander, Porter, Juno, Diallo, who gets the and 1. All of Washington's high selections have turned into good players, which is why this team has become really good. Imani Juno II misses the shot, grabs the rebound and the putback. Juno played his college ball in New York for St. John's. He was a player the Knicks contemplated drafting in Season 2, but ultimately went with DJ Ramses and Coco Diablo instead. Juno hits a triple. The Wizards on a 10-0 run. The Knicks would finally stop the run as it's 10-6. Tatum, step back. 3-ball is good. Tatum with 5 points and 5 rebounds already. Getting dirty down low with Nick Claxton. Durant inside. Nice move for the Slim Reaper. Again, he might be the oldest player in the league, but he is still really damn good. Diallo steals it away over to Amani Juno, who lets it fly for 3. The Knicks call a timeout. They trail 17-9. This is the opposite of the Bulls game, minus the fact that the Knicks are losing. Good putback by Reddish. But this has been a very defensive battle. The Wizards' offense has been mediocre at best. The Knicks' offense has been an utter disaster. Here is Xander. He's a little bit banged up. Over to Amani Juno. He hits the 3. 9-point lead for Washington. Anthony Edwards inside with the slam! What a dunk by Anthony Edwards, and it's 20-13. Hopefully that play can ignite some energy for an offense who has been, well, lacking energy so far. Amani Juno hits the 3 for Washington. 10-point game. Jamison Xander with it inside for Nicholas Claxton. He is guarded by Lillard. Over to Xander in the corner for 3. Great ball movement there by the Wizards. Cam Reddish realized he had to help inside, otherwise Claxton was going to score, and that let Xander get open on the corner. DJ Ramses gets the dunk. Quiet start for Ramses. He's been guarding Malik Porter today, and both of those guys have been so good defensively. Neither of them have gotten anything going offensively, basically taking each other out of the game. Jason Tatum, corner 3, cutting the lead back down to 10. 20-28 now. Durant heaves it up from full court, and he almost made it. Goddamn. 28-20, your score through 1. Complete opposite of the Bulls game, despite the fact that the Knicks are losing. The game itself has been, well, different. Kevin Durant with it. He sends it over to Ousmane Dieng, who hits the corner 3. Dieng was a role player drafted by the Thunder. Didn't really develop there, but he's been pretty good over the last couple of years with Chicago and now Washington, where it really feels like he's found a home. Khalif Dumbu hits the 3. 25-36. Juno inside, no good. Rebound by Marvin Bagley, and he gets the putback. Bagley's been able to carve out a role as a backup big, even if he wasn't worth the 2nd overall pick. Still a productive player here in Washington. The former Knick, Paul George, sends it over to Jamison Xander, who hits the 3 for the Wizards. 30-43. Here's Zachariah Royster with it. Royster, nice move inside. He's got to get active. His first points of the game, and it's an 11-point deficit. Anthony Edwards with it. He's going to look for the screen for Reddish. Edwards gets some room. Fadeaway midi is good. Nice shot by Edwards, and it's an 11-point game. Claxton with it for Washington, guarded by Zachariah Royster. He gets it over to Diallo, who makes the layup. The 5th overall pick, headed to the University of Miami. A really, really good young player who's had a pretty solid rookie season for Washington. Rams is over to DiCarlo in the corner for Anthony Edwards, who started to heat up. He's got 9 points now. He hits the 3. The Knicks have been able to keep this lead at around 10. Reddish will make it 7 as he hits the 3. New York hasn't really been able to take control of this game, but they've been able to stay in it. If nothing else, that's something. Double step back. Porter, what a shot. Malik Porter connects on the 3, and it's now 40-50. Here is Zachariah Royster now. Lets it fly from beyond the arc. The big fella from deep. And it's a 7-point game. Amani Juno now. Fadeaway 3. Won't fall. But the putback slam is good for the Wizards. 9-point game. Rams is over to Damian Lillard. Lillard in the corner. He sends it over to DJ Ramses, who will hit the 3. And it's now only a 4-point game. New York is really playing well here at the end of the first half, getting some momentum, looking like they want the number 1 seed as the dunk by Ramses cuts the lead to 2. Now back at 4. Final seconds of the half. Anthony Edwards misses the corner 3. All things considered, not a terrible first half. I mean, both teams hasn't really shot the ball all that well, but the Knicks are hanging in there. They're playing really tough defense. Some of these Wizards scorers haven't really been able to make plays. Malik Porter has been quiet. Kevin Durant hasn't been all that solid. Other than Amani Juno, nobody has been all that impressive. Washington does still hold a 4-point lead, but they're going to start making some plays early in the 3rd. Diallo with an and 1, and it's around 50-57. Here's Amani Juno. Pull up from deep. No good, but Claxton is there for the quick rebound and the putback. The lack of size has been an issue at times. The Jason Tatum at center experiment hasn't necessarily been perfect. Quick lob for Diallo, and within a minute of the second half, the Wizards are right back up with a big lead. That big comeback at the end of the first half feels like it was all for naught. Amani Juno, nice touch inside. He gets a quick layup, and the Wizards are up by 11. Here's Jason Tatum, open for three. He already has a double-double. He now has 13 and 10 off the triple. 57-63. Here is Juno. Gets it over to Kevin Durant. Durant guarded by Edwards. Durant, what a move! The Slim Reaper slithering inside for the dunk. Tatum gets that ball snuffed into next week by Nick Claxton. What a play. On the other end, Malik Porter. Turnaround jumper is good. Nice shot for Porter. And the Wizards are back up by 10. 57-67. Here's Khalif Dumbu with a quick dunk. The Knicks are continuing to hang in there, but the Wizards are continuing to hold on to a decently comfortable lead. Tatum over to Anthony Edwards. Edwards, fadeaway, three ball, knocks it down. Nice shot for Edwards at 64-73. Dumbu nearly loses it. Gets it back over to Lillard in the corner for Royster. Zachariah Royster hits the three. The Knicks started the game off 1 for 10 from three, but they've been shooting it a lot better as the game has gone on. New York now in transition off of the Buddy Johnson steal as Lillard hands it off for Khalif Dumbu, who hits the three. 72-74. Here's Jang over to Imani Juno. Beats the shot clock, no good. Who ends up with the board? It's Marvin Bagley III who gets the putback. 72-76 now. A little bit under a minute and a half left in the quarter. Here's DJ Ramses. Nice three. And it's a 1-point game. But again, right when the Knicks are cutting into that lead, the Wizards retaliate. They bring the lead back up to 5. Here's Ramses at the end of the third. Bang! What a shot by DJ Ramses. It's a 2-point game going into the fourth quarter. Again, all things considered, the Knicks did not play well for most of the third quarter, but they're only down by 2. They're continuing to hang in there. But as we've seen today, right when the Knicks show some life, the Wizards quickly answer back. 4-point game off of the layup by Jamison Zander. Edwards in the corner for DJ Ramses, who hits another three. Ramses was really quiet in the first half, but now he's caught fire with a trio of three-pointers as of recent. Malik Porter's also shooting it better. He's got some nasty moves. Ridiculous step back, bringing it back up to a 4-point game. Ousmane Dieng over to Bagley, who connects with the rookie Diallo. No good. Dieng with the offensive rebound over to Bagley with a powerful dunk. And the Wizards are right back ahead by 6. Again, right when the Knicks make the game close, that's when the Wizards seem to be at their best, when their backs are a little bit against the wall, or at least closer to the wall. Bagley with the layup, 83-91. Passes stolen by Jamison Zander, continuing to tough it out, playing through injury as he sends it inside for Marvin Bagley, who gets the dunk, and the Wizards are back up by quite a bit. Lead down at 6, but Durant hits the open top of the key 3, and Washington continues to extend the lead. But Jason Tatum quickly responds. He hits a deep 3, 96-90. The Knicks are in takeover mode. This is their chance to really get back in the game as Ramses hits another 3. DJ Ramses has been ice money here in the fourth as the pass is stolen by the Knicks. They can actually take their first lead of the game here. DiCarlo with it over to Ramses. He's been on fire as of recent. Back to DiCarlo. He gets it to Anthony Edwards. Edwards inside for the slam! With under 4 minutes to go, the Knicks have their first lead of the game. They've finally done it. But now they've got to keep the lead. That might be even harder than getting the lead. Here's Malik Porter. No good. Rebound by the Wizards. Claxton no good. Grabs another one to Diallo for 3. Bang! What a huge shot for the Wizards. They're right back ahead. That shot's going to give them so much momentum, but the Knicks are still in takeover mode. Good opportunity to tie it. Fade away for Tatum. Knocks it down. 99-99. With 3 minutes to go, it's anyone's ball game. The number 1 seed on the line. Durant for the lead. He hits the top of the key, deep 3. The Wizards now up by 5. Right when their backs are a little bit against the wall, they're at their best. Diallo with the and 1. He's fouled by Reddish. It's a 7-point Wizards lead. 3-pointer is good. And the Wizards, who had the game tied a minute ago, are now up by 10. I mean, how can you come back against this team right when you start making some shots? They go on a run. Imani Juno, pull-up jumper is good. That feels like the dagger. It's a 12-point game. The Knicks aren't coming back. They lose 112-103. Really hard-fought battle here in Washington. This was a fun game. Minus, well, the result. This was a frustrating loss. I really hope these two teams do play against each other in the playoffs because that is going to be a series for the ages. If they do play in the playoffs, it would be in the Eastern Conference Finals. And the question is who would end up getting home court because both teams now have the same record. Imani Juno and Diallo with 22 apiece, although Diallo did it on less than half the shot attempts. Nobody else was really all that impressive, though, for the Wizards. As for us, Ramses with 19, Edwards with 18, Tatum with 18 and 15, although he shot 3 for 15 from 2-point. That's not good. Nobody else was really all that impressive. Both teams very inconsistent shooting the ball. We got out offensive rebounded by 9. The real problem is we grabbed no offensive boards in the second half. So take a look at this. Despite the fact that we lost, it says that we end up with the number 1 seed, which is weird. Wouldn't it have said that we would have gotten the number 1 seed before the game? I don't know why it does that. It's like Madden, where Madden, even if you clinch the number 1 seed, it doesn't really say it until, like, after you simulate, which is dumb, but okay. The Timberwolves, by the way, finish at 49 and 33, a game ahead of OKC, so they will have home court for that series against the Thunder. So that'll wrap up the episode. Next time around, we will be starting off the playoffs. The Timberwolves will face off against OKC. The Knicks will face off against to be determined. Hope everybody enjoyed. Make sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you are new. Peace out.